Welcome back to the Trade Academy. This video is for those who want to pick level 2 trade setup, Btmm level 2 trade setup. So let's dive into that. So on your H1 time frame, we look for momentum candles with long push like this. Then we also look for peak formation high or peak formation low for a downtrend. So once we have this, we can come to our 15-minute time frame. So on our 15 minutes, all we need is for our water and our measure to cross. Once these conditions are met on 15 minutes, we need our water and measure to cross. Once they have crossed, that means we can now start picking level 2 trade setup. And how do we do that? We wait for price to come and test our water. Mind you, my water is 90 EMA. So wait for price to come to test that water. So when price moves, reverses down close to our water, this is what I always do. I'll look for a sweep of liquidity from that zone. So I'll consider this high and the other high. We can see this high, they swept liquidity here. So, and also I also consider break of structure. We can see this low was broken by this momentum candle. So all I have to do is I'll mark out this candle, the last candle there, and wait for a retest. So from here we can see this candle going back up into that marked area to mitigate that side. From there I pick my entry, and my entry is always when price comes to test our water. That is where I'll enter. Let me give an example that is going to be very clear. This is Euro JPY. Euro JPY on H1 time frame, we can see we have a long push to the upside. So, and from there we had a peak formation high. That was on H1. So what we have to do now is to come to 15 minutes and wait for what? The crossing of our water and our measure. So we have our water and measure crossing here. So what I have to do now is I always pick my trade from my water. My water is 90 EMA. My water is always 90 EMA. This water, this is 90 EMA. So I'll wait for a touch. I always make sure that candle touches it. This is a perfect example. So once candle has touched it, I have to mark that candle, that particular candle. So I always make sure I mark it. So now I've marked the particular candle. So all I need is for price to do what? To come and mitigate that zone, to break our low, then come back to retest that zone. Then I'll pick my sell entry. So though we had a sweep of liquidity here, sweeping this high, and we also have candle coming to retest that marked zone to mitigate that zone, then we are good to sell. So this is how I pick my trade, always from my 90 EMA after the peak formation when water and measure has crossed.